There was still a small Labour For In poster in his front window as Jeremy Corbyn left home this afternoon. It was, after all, his perceived lukewarm support for the Remain campaign that triggered the mass resignations from his front bench today.
Mr Corbyn, how can you survive?
No answers to any of the questions asked here. Mr Corbyn left for an urgent meeting with his closest aide.
You're going to stand down.
Just a brief statement before.
He had already sacked one member of his team, the Shadow Foreign Secretary. It happened in the early hours of this morning after Hilary Benn here announced he would ask Mr Corbyn to quit.
At this critical time for our country following the EU referendum result, we need strong and effective leadership of the Labour Party. I told Jeremy Corbyn last night that I no longer had confidence in his leadership, and he dismissed me from the Shadow Cabinet. And I want to thank him for having given me the chance to serve our party. Thank you very much indeed.
Hilary Benn had started rolling a snowball, and it gathered speed and size as it went down the hill. Within hours, seats around the Shadow Cabinet table were being vacated. Next was the Shadow Health Secretary Heidi Alexander, who told today's Peston on Sunday it was time for Jeremy Corbyn to go.
Could I, hand on heart, say that I felt that Jeremy was the best person to be leading the Labour Party in developing the answers that the country is now demanding? And I didn't feel I could do that. And so whilst it's a very, very difficult decision for me to take, I felt the only decent and honourable thing to do was to resign.
And through the day there was a steady but growing number of resignations. Seema Malhotra walked away from her Treasury post saying Labour does not currently look like a government in waiting, even though just yesterday she supported and introduced Jeremy Corbyn at his post-referendum speech.
For all his qualities that he has brought, that I believe that for the next phase of our work in the Labour Party and leading up to a general election, that we do need a different leader. I hope that Jeremy comes to see that, and I hope that he will, in his own interests and the interests of the party, stand down.
In her resignation letter to the party leader, Shadow Education Secretary Lucy Powell wrote, "We have, over many years, lost the support of our traditional communities. While I don't blame you personally for that, I do not believe you understand their concerns sufficiently to re-engage with these communities." But Jeremy Corbyn plans to replace all those who have resigned, said his closest ally and friend, and then to plough on.
We're in a really perilous situation with our economy, and also we need to now start negotiating with Europe to get the best deal for our country. This is not the time for internal party squabbles. However, if people want to resign, that's up to them, and Jeremy will simply replace them. We'll continue on.
Don't make them like this anymore.
Meanwhile, Labour's deputy leader, we know this from his social media posts, has spent the weekend at Glastonbury. But Tom Watson is wading through more difficult terrain now than he faced at the weekend. He's expressed his deep disappointment both of the sacking and the resignations today, and said in a statement, "The Labour Party must be ready to form a government. There's much work to do. I will be meeting Jeremy Corbyn tomorrow morning to discuss the way forward." You might have noticed the statement from the deputy wasn't exactly a ringing endorsement of the leader. Jeremy Corbyn, however, will not quit, and if there is a challenge, he will fight on. Chris Ship, ITV News, Westminster.